Thank you very much for coming this morning. We're going to be discussing two topics today. We're going to start with an update on a robbery case through our Crime Stoppers program. We've had a new Crime Stoppers detective who started a short 4 months ago in October of 2019, and he came to us with a wealth of experience. His name is Detective Adrian Johnson, and he came from our electronic monitoring unit, and he has been doing some fantastic work. In January of this year alone, we've received almost 250 tips, which is a 5% increase over this month last year. Now, these tips have led to 22 arrests and 44 cases that we have been able to clear. Officers have seized 11 weapons, 7 of which were firearms and 2 were stolen, all through the Crime Stoppers program. More than $18,000 in cash has also been seized during drug arrests. Now, Detective Johnson is going to be going over a case that we need some assistance on, a robbery of a local pharmacy. This time I will turn it over to Detective Johnson. Detective.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm here to talk to you about a case that we need some help on. We need the media, community assistance with this case. It's a big case, and I just want to give you a few details about it. On January 20th, officers with the Steel Creek Division responded to a robbery from business, which was located at 9100 South Tryon. That's Caitlin's Pharmacy. This incident occurred at approximately 12:45 p.m. The suspect entered a business and demanded prescription medications with the use of a firearm. He was very confrontational during this event, and he meant what he said. So during the course of this robbery, the suspect sprayed several victims that worked at the business with pepper spray while stealing that medication. Members of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department and the Armed Robbery Unit, we need your assistance. We've been working diligently in attempting to identify the suspect in this case, but we're going to need more help. During the course of this investigation, the detectives obtained a video of the suspect walking up to the front of the business. In this video and in the pictures, we would like for the community to take a very good look. It's a pretty good picture, and we believe we can get an ID of the suspect in this case. So we're looking forward to receiving as many calls as possible about this case and about this suspect, so we can apprehend him as soon as possible, where he won't be able to victimize any business or person anymore. In this video, you see the male walk up. He's fully clothed. He has a ski mask that he's wearing as a beanie. Before he goes in this business, he pulls it over his face. And in some of the video that you see, you can't identify who he is. But we do know that he's a white male, approximately 5'7" or 5'10", small build. He was last seen wearing dark jogging pants, as well as a black and gray fleece jacket and dark colored shoes. So we want anybody who can recognize this suspect to give us a call at Crime Stoppers at 704-334-1600. Also, you can submit a tip through our website, which is at CharlotteCrimeStoppers.com, and you can download a P3 Tips app where you can send a tip directly through your mobile phone. With that P3 Tips app, you can directly communicate between Crime Stoppers and yourself, and we would love for you to download that app to be able to use that. Also, just an example of some of the work that we've done. On January 16th, just to show you how effective the Crime Stopper program is with the media's help and the community's help, there was a story that aired about a robbery in the Providence Division. Rob Tefano sent out an email with the information on that to you guys. And when that media release was sent the next morning, which was sent at 6:10 a.m., we immediately received a Crime Stoppers tip at 9:41 a.m. We were able to identify that suspect in that case a little over 3 hours. So that's just a great example of how effective the Crime Stoppers program can be. with the media's help, the community, and officers that's out working patrol, and detectives that's working hard investigating these cases. What we would like the community to know is any information that you send to us, we don't need to know your name, we don't need to know your phone number, we don't need to know where you live. This program is totally anonymous, and any help that we can get to solve a lot of these cases, we'll surely appreciate it. So thank you once again for your time, and y'all have a great day.
Any questions for Detective Johnson?
Just any indication at this time that that suspect in the pharmacy, this pharmacy robbery may have any other targeted pharmacies been hit and maybe fit that description or anything like that at this time?
Okay, well, we can't connect this robbery with any other robbery. As a matter of fact, we're not sure what the suspect's intentions are. When he stole the prescriptions, we don't know if he's a user. We don't know if he's a dealer. But it hasn't been connected to any other cases.
And no, aside from people being pepper sprayed, I mean, any other physical injuries from anybody else that was inside the store that day?
No, just the pepper spray. But with the threat of a weapon, and when there's the presence of a weapon, we take it very seriously. And because anything can happen. The victims handled the situation the right way. They complied with what the suspect demanded. And like I always say, they live to see another day. That's what we would suggest to any victim in that case.
Did he steal painkillers? Is that what he was after?
I'm not going to get into the specifics of the medications. And he stole several things. And it took the pharmacist actually more time to identify what was taken at the time because they didn't know right then. I think it was a situation where he took as much as he can get and got out of there. So.
Any other questions? All right. Thank you.
All right. Have a good day.
Again, that's our Crime Stoppers detective, Adrian Johnson, 704-334-1600. Should always be part of his signature there with that phone number. He did reference some video, which we will send out shortly through a media release. Very good video, and we really need the community's assistance. Next up, I would like to discuss a case out of the University City Division, which is not necessarily unique, but also discuss a corresponding launch of a social media campaign. To work with our community, and work on crime issues, CMPD has recently joined the hashtag 9PM routine. Now, this campaign is not new to us, and we did not create it. It started in 2017 in Pasco County, Florida. Pasco County is just north of Tampa, Florida. And we are joining that campaign. Now, at the end of January of this year, it was in the upper 30s in the morning when a victim went outside to warm up her car. She came back a few minutes later and the car was gone. Now, this is, as I said, is not unique. In fact, in 2019, we had more than 10,000 vehicles stolen. 42% of those were unlocked. Now, officers and detectives with our real-time crime center were able to locate that vehicle a short time later and made an arrest, but it is a crime that should not have happened in the first place. Now, every evening at 9 p.m., we will be reminding the community through social media posts to our Twitter account, CMPD News, hashtag 9PM routine, to do a nightly safety check. Now, these concepts include memes talking about removing valuables from vehicles, locking vehicles, making sure your all exterior doors are locked, and turning on an exterior light. These are just a few of the examples that you will see on a nightly basis. Now, as you've probably noticed, we have had some fun with this campaign, and we really look forward to continuing to do that. Now, anybody who has any suggestions on how we can better affect and better influence our community, we ask you to please send us an email, cmpdpio@cmpd.org. And we also encourage community members to be vigilant and aware of their surroundings, and if anyone observes any suspicious activity, to please call 911. Do we have any questions about our hashtag 9PM routine? All right. Any other questions?
last night there was a delivery person robbed. We've seen a couple of those in the last month or so. Is it a concern? Are those common? And what can delivery drivers do to avoid being robbed at gunpoint?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, we have had, that is not a unique crime. We know that a lot of deliveries occur in the evening in not very well lit areas. So it is really important that if a delivery driver feels uncomfortable or unaware of their surroundings, to make sure that you pay attention to where you're going. And if you do not feel safe, one, you do not have to make a delivery. And two, you can always call 911 and we can come. If you see something suspicious, we can, again, we ask people if you see something to say something. So if you see an individual that isn't where they should be, or you're not really familiar with that area, to not get out of your car and to call 911.
The governor opened a task force yesterday on the coronavirus, and Mecklenburg County is currently monitoring 4 people. Is CMPD involved in any of these discussions, or is currently making plans to handle a potential outbreak?
You know, I mean, I would certainly defer to our Mecklenburg County Public Health Director for any questions about that, but we are here to assist the community and make sure that, you know, we hope that that is not a case that we begin to have outbreaks here in our county.
Are there any updates on the search for the shooter who shot at an 11-year-old yesterday?
You're going to have to, I'm not quite sure on that, Amanda. I'll have to follow up with you offline about that. Any other questions? Great. Thank you all for coming today. Have a good day. Thank you.